準備できた？
当然だ。
みんなにニコニコしてほしいな。
じゃあ行くよ。せーの。
見つけちゃった大事にしていたい想いギュッとギュッと抱きしめなよこぼれちゃいそう胸の秘密にはけいかなきゃねそんなそんなもっともっとかまてまいれのショー
ハウリハウリ今すぐ
What you doing? What you doing?
ショータイム。
What you doing? 伝えたいのは言葉だけじゃならないメロディー愛すねるリズムでいいじゃん耳を澄ませばほら夢と嫌いたまら絶対へ待ちなさい生きてるって最高歌いたいもっともっと夢見たいカラフルな世界みたいなステディステディ一歩ずつ目踏みしめていこう Wake up なりたい自分を目指してこうこの想い乗せて歌よ響けゴリステディゴー
It's time to fly
It's time
It's time to show time
また夏ショータイム
Yo, welcome to the stream. I agree. Sex, it should be made illegal. No sex happens ever. Yes. Yo, welcome to the stream. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait a few minutes before loading up the game, like usual. Yeah. Sunny days are the sun. I love this song. I watched the live action adaptation of this one manga a few days ago. It's called my day was alright. Thanks for asking. It's been fairly uneventful. Thanks for asking. Yeah. I think I'm gonna start loading up the I'm gonna start the game. Yeah. But yeah. I watched the live action of this of like this manga. It was called Lychee Hikari Club. Lychee Hikari Club, whatever. Lychee Light Club. It was about this group of like this cult-like. It was about like this cult-like group of kids, who built like a robot. who like they were gonna like try and like rule the city. And apparently I should have just read the manga instead, because I have no idea what the fuck was going on. But it was good, nonetheless. It's umineko, right? But yeah, it was yeah, it was a pretty interesting show. Yeah. Yeah. We're in school doing project presentations for book trailers and one used gotcha club. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry to hear that. You know something? You know something that I've always you know something? Why do they call it like gotcha life? And why do they call them that? Nobody uses the gotcha function. Gotcha life, gotcha club, fucking gotcha studio, whatever the fuck. Like, nobody plays it for the gotcha aspect. Nobody does the gambling. Nobody cares about that. Everybody just uses it as a doll maker, and sometimes they play the games. They should change the fucking name. But yeah. That's always been something that confused me. Because it's a very minor aspect. Maybe you got a lobotomy when it made up the name. Maybe. I don't... Maybe it's just meant to entice kids who, like... Maybe it's just meant to, like, entice, like, kids or something who, like, play other gacha games or something. I don't know. Who are already addicted to gambling. Hang on, where's the load button? You're learning Japanese? Cool. That's pretty neat. I don't know who's saying this line. Rather get one than have to sit for an hour dealing with the breath. Yeah, I think the trick is just to, like, grind and put it on max speed. And, like, also have something else that you can do. Like, just like, it basically just turns into, like, a background task. Tifareth. Suppression. You just go on your phone. And, yeah. Just, like, go on your phone, pick, like, easy to deal with abnormalities, and just turn it into a background task, basically. However, that was not Madam's fault. Wait, I should, All of the blame lies with God's whims and the stork that delivered Jessica late. Whoop. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, Tiferet suppression is just like a normal day but longer, so, yeah. One of your D&D players fucked a vampire? Interesting. You know something? I've never played D&D. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, but I kind of want to. The problem is I don't have any friends to play with. Like, there are people where I could ask, but they probably wouldn't want to. But, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, the trick to Tiferet suppression is just get out your phone and, like, scroll through social media while you pick easy abnormalities. That's the trick. More about what? It was like, I have, like, if you're asking about, like the people I could, like, ask that I mentioned, they're, like, the friends that I had in middle school that I, like, don't really talk to anymore. But I don't think any of them would really be, like, you know, down to play anything like Dungeons and Dragons. It's fine, you know. I'm good. I'm good. Sorry. I don't know. Anyways, back to umineko. Find special someone you can play D&D with them and marry and have kids. Adopted, of course. Perhaps one day in the future. Even so, Madam won't allow herself to see things this way. She probably can't help but cry bitter tears as a woman, and her inability to get... Come on! What is it? This is a game. This is a game set in an old time period. Okay. How sad. I cannot do anything except watch over her from the shadows. Man, when does this game get fucking good? When did they stop talking about family drama? When does somebody get cursed? We crossed the hall again on our way to the entrance. As we did, we once again spotted that witch's portrait. However, spotted is probably not the best word to describe that experience. It was more like our eyes were inexorably drawn to it. That woman's eyes, with their sage-like glamour, definitely had the power to make those who viewed it stand rooted to the spot. So this is the witch, Beatrice. Wonder if that story's true. It so is, and we're gonna meet her. We're gonna meet her soon, I promise. I fucking... When does she please show up. I want to voice her so bad. I know damn well she has a fucking cackling laugh. I know, I fucking know it. I can tell.
Battler doesn't believe?
Can I play this next week as well? Sure. At some point I'm probably gonna play like Facade, because that funny. Because as a child of divorce, I think it would be ironic or something. But yeah, I can play this next week. Yeah. Back when he had asked what this picture was, the first person to tell him had been Maria. Therefore, when Battler showed signs of doubt, Maria must have felt that Battler didn't have faith in her. Of course, that wasn't what Battler meant. Maria ran up to the portrait and began banging on a plate hanging below it. Maybe the title of the portrait was written there. Maria, trying to prove that she wasn't lying, obstinately continued to hit the plate. Ah, sorry about that. It's not like I doubt anything you said, Maria.
Battler believes!
When he patted Maria's head and apologized, she seemed to accept it, sticking out her chest and proudly ing. What's this? My beloved witch Beatrice. I don't know who the fuck is talking right now. Behold the Sweetfish River. What's with this weird, huge epitaph? The plate did have the title of the portrait written on it, but it was too big to contain only that. Yeah. It's fun to do. Beneath the title was what appeared to be a long epitaph. If you just skimmed over it, several unnerving words would jump out at you. Oh, incredible, isn't it? Grandfather had that made. Pretty deep, huh?
I know! It's the place where the gold's hidden.
Wait, is it that story about the Ushidomiya family's hidden gold? There's another thing I remember from long ago. Hold on, Aniki, is this for real? Grandfather had this made, but he never said anything about this picture or the epitaph. Even so, amongst the family, it's often whispered that it indicates the location of grandfather's hidden gold, and that he will relinquish the inheritance and the gold to the person who solves the riddle. It's all Reddit gold. I'm sorry. He promised all of his descendants Reddit gold.
I heard that too! Lots and lots of gold!
Well, something like that. If the Reddit gold hasn't been transferred to your account, please try logging in to your Reddit account and logging back out, and hopefully it will be there on all your posts and comments. Well, something like that. Something like 10 metric tons of gold bars. I think it's fake, though. Still, when you read about an epitaph like this, it almost seems real. I think I already explained grandfather's upbringing, but let me also mention the Ushidomiya family's legend of the gold. Grandfather succeeded the Ushidomiya family after it was destroyed in the Great Kanto earthquake. The world is really just colored rocks that were supposed to grant you infinite luck. God damn it, he got more of the shit out of the back of the magazine. How many times have we fucking told that old geezer? We keep telling him, dude, the things in the back of those magazines, those fortune rocks, the the fortune rocks, the fucking the fucking the glasses that are supposed to let you see through like other fuck the fake X-ray glasses, all that, none of it's fucking real. As we keep telling that old man, we keep fucking telling him, but he won't listen. He won't listen. He just says, "You don't understand. You would not understand. You could never understand the power that these objects hold." And we tell him, "Gramps, it's going for $14.99 in the back of the fucking Sears catalog." Just heard my door. Who what? I'm doing a bit. I'm just doing a bit where I'm pretending that I'm talking to the grandfather mentioned in this paragraph or sentence. That sentence. Yeah. I'm just getting a little silly. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. There's nothing to apologize for. Yeah. Listen, I don't even know if, like... Oh, hey, my files are still open. I don't even know if, like, the Sears catalog or whatever has that kind... has advertisements for, like, scam items like that. I don't even know what the fucking Sears catalog is. I always hear, like, old people talking about, like, "Oh, back in my day, we read the Sears catalog," but I don't even know what the fuck that is. And by successfully riding the stormy seas after the war, we managed to accumulate great wealth. Yeah, the fucking... Like, Gramps... The fucking... I can't think of any bits to do. Sorry. the fucking... Grandpa, we can't have you forgetting... We can't have you forgetting the name of the fucking... The fucking, Sears catalog is like a magazine type thing that shows what the store has in stock. Wait, I thought Sears itself was Alright. Thank you for the information, but wait, hang on, isn't Sears, like... wait, yeah, Sears is a store, okay. So was Sears like a big thing back then? Oh, those are like, yeah, two different types of Sears. Going up to the fucking, like, going up to, going to the mall, going into, like, the fucking, I don't know what the fuck Sears sells. But you go up to the lady at the counter and you go, "Please," and you go, "Hey, can I purchase The fucking, what the fuck does Sears sell? They sell appliances or whatever, right? You go, can I, my blender's broken. My blender's broken. Can I, the fucking, oh, it's a hardware store? What the fuck do you buy at a hardware store? I haven't been to one in a long time. I'm just gonna Google what they sell. They've got a refrigerator on their website, so I'm gonna you go, hey, my refrigerator's broken. What aisle can I what aisle can I find in? And they pull out the crystal ball, and they go, yes, I see it now. It's in aisle fucking wait, does Sears have whatever. Just yes, I see your future. It's in aisle 7 or whatever the fuck. And you go, great, thanks. So you go to aisle 7 and you don't find it there. And you come back, you go, hey. Does you go, hey, you fucking lied to me. It wasn't in fucking aisle 7. And they're like, sorry, just give me a minute. They have a crystal ball out and they're playing Angry Birds on it. I don't fucking know where I'm going with this. That much of the story everyone knows. However, this is where the witches! Witch time! Yay! This is where the strange part begins. Part of it involves grandfather's black magic obsession, so its credibility is extremely low, but, well, wait until the end before you doubt or make fun of it. After the war, grandfather correctly predicted what the future would hold, and won in a huge gamble, accumulating a vast store of wealth. But there's a mysterious legend about how he gained his initial funding. Grandfather came from a branch family and had no connections in the business world or the financial world. Even though he later built connections with the occupying forces, he supposedly started as a nameless person who hadn't yet gained anyone's trust. Yeah. Real. Yeah, they like they fucking like they vacuum sealed the iPhone. They had to vacuum seal the iPhone in like a fucking like plastic bag or something. So like you know, the phone wouldn't break. But it's actually it's a better bargain than expected, because if you open the iPhone, it's actually hacked, because fucking Angry Birds isn't on the App Store anymore. So now it'll probably go for a lot of money. And you can buy an actual crystal ball. Profit. It takes trust to gather money. There's no way anyone would lend money to someone they didn't trust. How did grandfather, who had no reputation at all, manage to obtain his first vast chunk of funds? When asked that question, grandfather supposedly answered like this. On a certain day, I encountered the golden witch Beatrice. Grandfather then went on and on about his continuing research into alchemy and techniques for summoning demons in order to become a great magician. And the entity summoned as a result of the demon calling ceremony was the golden witch Beatrice. I am so excited to do the voices for Beatrice. I'm gonna have so much fucking fun. It's gonna be like voicing Luke at me again. Except like more cackly and less, you know, Less I do say, the fucking, was that how I can't remember. That was a few months ago, I can't remember. Like, yes. The fucking, the when. He then apparently made a contract by which he would receive a fortune and honor in exchange for his own soul. The witch then granted Grandfather 10 tons of gold. Grandfather used this gold as collateral to prepare a vast quantity of funds, which he then used to multiply his wealth many times over and revive the Ushiromiya family. It seems this story is so old that even our parents were told it when they were still children. So, back when our parents were young, they explored this island in all sorts of ways, believing that the gold Grandfather had received from the witch might be hidden somewhere. However, since there was the danger of them getting lost in the abandoned forest, Grandmother began to spread the story that the witch lived in the forest and approaching it was forbidden. I remember that old story. When we were little, we also went all over the island searching for treasure after our parents told us about it. Didn't we get lost in the forest once and then start crying until some of the servants found us? Our parents got so mad. Dang, that takes me back. We sure were idiots, weren't we? After all, Grandfather only bought this island after using those funds to get rich, right? That means he must have had the gold before coming here. There's no way the gold's on this island. That's not necessarily so. Maybe the gold was hidden on the island from the beginning, and he bought the whole island just to ensure that it'd be his and his alone. There was a whole 10 metric tons of it, right? Seems more realistic that he'd try to secure the place where it was hidden, rather than try to move it all. This epitaph was made 2 years ago. I think this is still George talking. This epitaph was made 2 years ago, and since Grandfather wrote it himself, yeah, it does make the legend of the gold seem more believable. The so-called witch's gold that revived the Ushiromiya family weighed 10 tons. Maybe that's sleeping somewhere, ready to be turned over to whoever can solve Grandfather's riddle. Maybe that's why he did it. Ha! I guess that sounds like Grandfather. Oh. Ha! I guess it sounds like Grandfather's style or something. If it's true, that's pretty incredible. The epitaph carved into the plate was very mysterious. It was something like a poem or a song written on it. That text was incredibly disturbing, filled with the signs of Grandfather's black magic hobby, and its contents were in truly bad taste. But it could definitely be viewed as a puzzle which, if solved, might lead to the hidden gold. God, I hope we get to solve puzzles. I fucking love puzzles! I fucking love puzzles! Whether that's what he intended or not, I can't even imagine what his true motive might have been. All we know for sure is that Grandfather put this shady epitaph here so that everyone in the family could see it. We also know that he's hinted at the existence of the gold without ever talking about where it might be hidden, at least so far. These facts then were embellished by the imaginations of our parents, who were convinced that Grandfather was challenging us to a battle of wits. Sounds just like my dad, so greedy that he takes something like this so seriously. He may laugh at Grandfather's black magic obsession, but he'd still believe this story about the hidden gold. It just sounds so good. Well, it's certainly not a realistic story. At the time, when Grandfather was still nameless and had no connections, there was no way anyone would just lend him a massive quantity of gold bars for free. If such a person actually did exist, it's not unthinkable that Grandfather would call such a sponsor a witch. Yeah, but it's 10 tons. 10 tons! If you cash that in, how much would it come to? I mean, it'd have to be a ridiculous amount, right? Certainly would be a ridiculous amount. They say the total amount of gold mined by humankind since the dawn of history is 100,000 metric tons, at most. That 1 out of 10,000 of all the gold humankind has obtained throughout history should belong to just one person is insane. On top of that, this witch supposedly had all that gold collected in one place and was able to lend it to Grandfather just like that. We're not talking about any ordinary person. Well, to me, that 10 tons number seems pretty fishy. After all, no one's actually seen it except Grandfather, right? Just forget to pause your game. Ah, train moment! Nothing good ever happens in Project Moon games when it comes to trains. Yeah, that's lobotomy, baby. That's train moment. That's yeah. Never trust trains in Project Moon. Yeah, epic tip. If you get too tired of the train, just go ahead and soft reset. Doing the new game thing won't reset like all of your progress. It'll just get rid of your agents and abnormalities. It'll keep like all the EGO gear. It'll keep the entries in the encyclopedia. It'll keep all like the information. If you get too sick of it, either do the Cliffith, or no, not the Cliffith, the fucking return to memory repository. The repository. You can if like you're able, you can go back. You can do the memory repository and go back like a week, assuming that you've had it for under a week. And if it's too much, you can just hit the soft reset. That's the only advice I can offer. But other than that, that's lobotomy, baby. Even if we assume that some generous witch existed and lent him some gold, maybe it was closer to 10 kilograms than 10 tons. Even 10 kilograms would be a pretty incredible sum, right?
10 kilograms of gold is how much?
Maria, who wasn't following the story and felt like she was being spoken to in riddles, finally found a place where she could ask us a question. It was a question I also wanted answered right then. Whether it was 10 kilograms or 10 tons, it still felt like a huge amount, but I had no idea exactly how huge. George Aniki folded his arms and tried to remember the market price of gold. Well, even the value of gold is affected by the market, and the value of physical gold can change depending on its purity and the trustworthiness of the foundry. You'd also need to pay handling fees to cash it in. However, that doesn't change the fact that it's a precious metal, and some people estimate that humanity will mine all the world's gold within half a century if gold mining continues at its current rate. Just guessing haphazardly, I think you could expect a price of about 2 million yen per kilogram. That would be like $200,000, somewhere around. I know that 1 yen is like somewhere around 1 cent. Like, yeah. Yeah, real. It's gold. Gold equals money. Big money. Real. Profit. Whoa! Just now, I randomly said 10 kilograms and it sounded smaller. But even that would be worth 20 million yen, wouldn't it?
I weigh 28 kilograms. Which means that if we had Maria-chan's weight in gold, we could estimate it's worth it over 50 million yen.
That's just That's just unbelievable. How much would 10 tons be then? 10 kilograms is 20,000 yen, which you could multiply by 1,000, so, huh? 20 billion yen? What the hell? How much is 20 billion yen actually worth? We can only measure it relative to our own pocketbooks. I think 20 billion yen would be like $2 billion, 2 billion USD. So like, you could buy like at least one copy of Yakuza 0 with that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's say that a person's wages over a lifetime are about 200 million yen. You grow up and work like crazy, sacrificing your life for your company, and you're finally freed as you approach old age. Everything, including retirement money, might add up to about 200 million yen. In other words, that's the amount of money that'll be made throughout a human's life. No, you could even call it the value of a life. So 100 times that sum is an unbelievable amount of money. $2 billion you could buy a secondhand Fumo? That's so fucking true. You might even be able to, like, buy, like, a new Fumo. That's fucking insane. Maybe even one of the big ones. Holy shit, the possibilities are endless! Unreal, unreal, unreal. That might be pushing it. If you work from age 20 to age 60, it's 40 years of work. So, it's equal to 4,000 years of work wages. If you worked every day, starting from the Jamon period, I don't fucking know, you'd only reach that number about now.
Is 20 billion yen a lot?
Heck yeah, it's a lot. Maria, you love shortcake, right? You could buy more shortcake than you could possibly eat for the rest of your life. However, while it might be possible with 20 billion yen in cash, I don't think it'd be very realistic to have that much in gold bars all in one place. Fumos will become the new Beanie Babies? I mean, they might. I mean, like, I don't know. You know something, that reminds me. I've always wondered, what do you think we're gonna see in antique stores in the future? Like, when we're all old and gray, do you think we're gonna see, like Hatsune Miku figures at, like, the ye old antique store? Because there are a few antique stores around where I live, and I see stuff that's like old signs and like I see like old signs and old jewelry and like merchandise for bands from like the 90s or whatever, or like the 80s, 70s, etc. I wonder if one of these days I'm ever gonna get old. I'm gonna be like 80 or something, and I'll go to an antique store. I'll be like, oh my god, is that a Midori Takamine Nui? Oh my, this reminds me. This brings me back. This takes me back. Yeah. Hip hip hooray for scalpers! Yippee! God, fuck. Yeah. Imagine showing up to like some like fucking some like Wall Street bigwig, and you like go. They're like, "Come, step into my office," and like their desk is like lined with like fucking like Chirnos and Sakuyas and fucking Pacholis and Reimus and all that shit. And like they got them lighting the windows, hanging from the ceiling. The fucking like they're on the desks. There's one on the chair. The guy's got one in his lap. They're all over the place. And the guy is like, you like what you see? You like these? There's more where that came from. Let's make a deal. They open a briefcase full of Fumos. there's like so many, they're like vacuum packed in there. Yeah, they're real. Like, yeah. Yeah, they're like fucking vacuum packed in the briefcase. It's like, let's talk business. He pulls out like a fucking like some sort of special edition like Chen. Where it's like only like 15 of them were made or some shit. Yeah, real. That's the future! No more need for crypto. No need for fucking piss coin. No need for any of that. Now we have these little plush Toho girls. That's what's big right now. That's no more non-fungible token. These are as non-fungible as it gets. On a related note, God, I hate NFTs. Did you know that apparently, the fucking, what was it called? That Bored Ape stuff, apparently there's, like, a bunch of, like, references to, like, Nazi shit in there. There's, like, a whole little, like, there's a whole, like, YouTube documentary on it. It's fucking insane. And apparently, like, a bunch of the founders were, like, massive 4chan people or something. Yeah, the fucking... It's like... The fucking... Yeah, real. I should, yeah, real. Fucking... Special edition, do they have a Ron Fumo? I don't know. Special edition flan for $17 million. Just a small payment of $17 million, and this limited edition flan holding a fucking, I don't know. What is flan like? Flan is the blonde one, right? Yeah. Yeah, Flan's the one with the funky wings and the blonde hair. Yeah, you can have this form of flan holding flan, the dessert, for a small payment of $17 million. You too, you can be the proud owner of this beautiful plushie. Look at her, and say hold it up really close to the camera, so close that it's like the face is like blocking the camera and you can barely see anything. He's like, isn't that beautiful? Fucking showing her off like a car salesman. Just as I said, gold is extremely heavy, so it isn't exactly convenient as a method of storing wealth. Sure, you can imagine someone gathering their fortune together as incredibly high-value stocks or precious gems. You often hear of people who traded their wealth for precious gems so they could carry it around with them during the chaotic times of the war. But you don't usually hear stories of people exchanging their wealth for gold. It may be heavy, but it's the most trusted and stable form of wealth internationally, so maybe that was important. For example, bonds are just scraps of paper if the whole country goes under. You can also look at it that way. But even one 10 kilogram ingot is pretty heavy to carry around. Haven't you heard? A 50 kilogram person can't carry a 50 kilogram bag over their shoulder. With that many gold bars, the amount of labor and risk for one person would be hard to calculate. So what you're saying is, while it'd be one thing if you had a stack of banknotes worth 20 billion yen, 20 billion yen in gold would be such a big mountain that practically it'd be kind of pointless. Yeah, high profile art showing off the new limited edition Golding Cherno by doing the silly little phone dance. The fucking, the fucking, they bring her up on stage, and they had like a little like a machine that does the little the the Chirno spin, that like squishes her up and down while she spins around. You know that video. They're like, yes, this Chirno Fumo is going for 70,000, 70,000, 70,000, fucking 70,000. Do I hear 8,000? Do I hear 80,000, 80,000? I hear 85,000, 85,000, 9,000, 9,000. The fucking I don't think I can talk that fast. Maybe perhaps it is. Maybe perhaps real. It sells for a fucking it sells for fucking it sells for yeah. Yeah, real. They open it up and it's just a single plushie. That's right. Although the Legend of the Gold does have a pretty interesting ring to it. It's the part about the 10 tons of gold makes it pretty much impossible. If you think about it logically like that, it sounds obviously fake. Kinda brings you back down to reality. Anyway, that's Grandfather for you. Maybe he exaggerated the story of how some kind, wealthy person gave him a loan by saying he got 10 tons of gold from a witch. Even the number 10 tons feels pretty symbolic. You mean like his gratitude for the money he borrowed was worth 10 tons of gold or something? Maybe some rich man's leisured wife generously granted it to Grandfather. There's another fly on my screen. On my monitor. Why are there so many flies that buzz around my monitor? I see. Jessica's example isn't bad. Someone who generously lent a huge sum of money to Grandfather when he still had no reputation might as well be called a witch. Furthermore, Grandfather actually did use that money to build a vast amount of wealth later on. The fact this person was so great at judging people might also justify calling her a witch. Also, since she went to the trouble of lending all that money, she might have enthusiastically overseen how it was spent. The decision to unexpectedly get involved with the occupying forces and profit from the Korean War demands might have been inspired by the witch herself. That might explain why he claimed to have received both wealth and honor from her. I see. So in other words, this witch lent Grandfather the funds necessary to revive the Ushinomiya family, and he owed her big time. And then he felt so grateful, he had that huge painting drawn and displayed. I need to go take a piss. am back. Yeah, it's not that crazy a story. It's even possible this person is an old granny who looked like a witch. Maybe grandfather idolized her, and that's why he had her drawn to look so beautiful. I bet if we ever did meet this person, she wouldn't be nearly this pretty. That's possible. The name Beatrice sounds pretty Western. If you think about how everyone in our family has Western names, maybe even the name Beatrice is a result of grandfather trying to rearrange some Japanese person's name to make it sound Western. Real. Real, indeed. Fucking... Yeah, tell that shit to the fucking Mothman, bitch. He lives in my attic. I feed him, I feed him popcorners all the time. He really likes them. I get it. That means this pretty girl doesn't exist outside the picture. Yes, that means... Oh, for God's sake! Fuck! No sex! No sex! No sex! No! None! No! No! No sex! Not ever! Not here! Not now! Not in the future! No sex! Banned! 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 Banned from the server. Banned from the Discord. No sex. Ever. In the first place, isn't having a witch pretty bizarre by itself? Like you could find something like that anywhere on Earth. I laughed and made fun of the witch, trying to distinguish myself from the kid who I was 6 years ago, who feared the witch of the forest, when Maria tugged on my sleeve. Yeah. Mr. Electric, send him to the penis chamber and have his penis exploded! Mr. Electric, feed him to the fucking... Mr. Electric, have this man sent to the hole in the sky! And watch him be ripped apart by space! I could tell by how hard she pulled that she was a bit upset. What is it, Maria? Beatrice exists! Maria stared up at me. She had on her usual sour look, but I could tell she was angry by the color of her eyes. Witches exist! Witches exist! Well, sure, they do exist. If you turn on the TV and watch anime or something. Exist! Witches exist! I started getting impatient, not knowing why Maria was jumping on me like this. Then, Jessica tapped me on the shoulder and whispered, "Dumbass, you're smashing a kid's dream. Maria really believes things like witches and Beatrice exist." Come to think of it, Maria-chan, in social studies at your school, when you were asked to write what you wanted to be when you grew up, you wrote a witch, didn't you? Maria nodded seriously. Tears started to run from the corners of her eyes. I see. To a girl who wants to become a witch in the future, the existence of Beatrice was proof that witches do exist in this world, and was therefore an image that she yearned for and admired. Exist! Exist! Witches exist! But Battler still doesn't believe! It's okay. Witches do exist. I believe it. George Aniki kneeled down and hugged Maria's head. Watching this, Jessica poked my side. So that's what it was. It's like shouting that Santa Claus doesn't exist in front of a child who believes believes in him on Christmas Eve. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to shatter kids' dreams. Oh, I'm sorry. Yo, welcome to the stream. Yeah. What's up, yo? Glad to have you. Yo. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make fun of your dreams, so I apologize. Beatrice does exist. Even now, she's living in the forest and comes to the mansion every night to peek in and see what everyone's doing. Super famous, you receive millions of dollars and now live in a mansion. Incredible. Yeah, phenomenal. You could buy at least 10 Fumos now. I have not heard of the Shoe Nutter, no. I'm somewhat scared to ask what they might do. So you shouldn't go into the forest. At night, you mustn't stare into the dark forest. You might be seen by the Witch of the Forest, Beatrice. After all, Grandmother said so.
Really? Battler really believes?
Yep, I believe. Sorry for doubting it. Come on, let's make up. I stuck out my hand. Maria grabbed it with her tiny hand, and we made up. Maria didn't grumble any more than that, so... George, Aniki, and Jessica were relieved. Patiently waiting until the characters in the game start talking about sex again. You just missed it, actually. One of the, I think it was Battler, mentioned something about Beatrice, and how, because he thought she wasn't real, so he would never get to, you know, touch her boobs, and was promptly banned from the Discord. No sex ever. Not ever, not now, not then, not, fucking, there's another fly on my monitor. Listen, these aren't really like flies, they're more like gnats. You know, the real small ones that aren't like proper flies. Shoe Nutters, mysterious man. Steal the shoes of bad kid and sends before putting the shoes on the kid. And be mocked and deemed a shoe nutter, completing the cycle. Odd.
Oh. So this is where all of you were. I was sure you had just left to go to the beach.
Shannon-chan, carrying a basket, was surprised to find us all gathered in front of the portrait.
Ah, Shannon.
Well, this is the first time Battler has seen Beatrice's portrait. Yeah, thankfully he's about as real as witches. Yeah, thank fucking God. Yeah. Wait, you mean witches aren't real?
He was just fascinated by it. That's right. It certainly is fascinating. Beatrice Sama is truly beautiful. I am sure that she captivated the master.
In addition to the patron theory, there's also a theory that she was grandfather's first love. Either way, although it's been several decades since he met her, even now she holds a special place in his heart. Which must mean that he's still captivated by her. Yeah, we can tell from the fucking Beatrice! I want to see your smile just one more time! Ah! Sheesh. That must have been That must have made grandfather. Fuck. That must have made grandmother pretty jealous, huh? I'm not really sure, but that might actually be true. Yeah. Good luck, yo. Yeah, good luck. Fucking... I'm actually doing surprisingly well on the Duolingo leaderboards. I'm in, like, 3rd place on the Ruby League. Well, 4th place, actually. It probably won't last long. Yeah. Yeah, Godspeed. Apparently, grandmother believed that he was cheating on her with some blonde.
Ooh, good smell. Good smell coming from Shannon.
Maria, sniffing, approached the basket Shannon was holding with interest. After hearing that, I noticed a fragrant scent with a touch of vanilla. Ah, I apologize. I was told by Kumasawa-san to bring them to everyone.
What is it, I wonder? Oh, excellent! Cookies. Wanna eat cookies? Wanna eat cookies?
Please, eat as much as you would like. But, would it be appropriate to serve cookies in a place like this, in front of the portrait? Shannon-chan sent us a glance that seemed to ask what we wanted to do about it. Well, yeah. I guess eating here would be bad manners, generally speaking. Maria, why don't we eat someplace else? Let's put the cookies in a bento and have a picnic.
Have a picnic! Have a picnic! If we can eat cookies, let's go!
Yeah, let's go get some fresh air. We shouldn't stuff ourselves right in front of the witch. That's right, didn't we? That's right. Didn't we say that we wanted to go down to the beach in the first place? Let's go, let's go!
Shannon-chan, sorry, but could I ask you to get us a blanket to sit on and some flasks of tea?
Right, certainly. Shannon-chan received her instructions and gracefully bowed before retracing her steps. We headed for the beach on our own. Everyone headed for the entrance in a group. Feeling as though that witch was staring down at our backs, I turned around once more.
Battler, you still don't believe?
Nope, I believe. It'd be so much cooler that way. The Golden Witch Beatrice gave grandfather 10 tons of gold. And that gold might be sleeping around here somewhere. Besides, didn't grandfather write that strange epitaph as though challenging us to find it if we can? I'd say that kind of adventure story is way better. 20 billion yen worth of gold, huh? Even if we split it up between the 4 of us, that's still a ridiculous amount of money. 5 billion yen for each of us. Incredible. With that kind of money, you could probably make any sort of business prosper. In fact, we could live our whole lives fabulously without working at all.
I don't want 5 billion yen. I want cookies. Cookies!
Maria would take cookies over money. Still, 5 billion yen. That's like a dream. Ridiculous. Is it possible that you all truly believe in... Oh my fucking god, it's family drama again. My god. Show us the witch! Show us Beatrice! Where is she? I know she's there. I know she's there. I know she's fucking... Fucking... God, fuck. Show us Beatrice, you son of a bitch! Is it possible that you all truly believe in Father's legend of the gold? Of course we don't believe that story about a witch giving him gold, but there's no mistake about the gold itself.
The fact that Father obtained gold bars from an unknown source has been confirmed in several ways. We've heard that before the president of the Maruso the Maruso company died, Father showed him a large pile of gold somewhere. Father used that man's claim as proof that there were 10 tons worth.
That's just the nonsense of a senile old man. Along with Father, he was just fabricating a story. You can't take it seriously. If that gold didn't exist, he wouldn't have been able to gather so much funding. Before the president died, he was a person with such a sincere personality that he earned the respect of many in the business world. He wouldn't have become a partner to such fraud. Aniki, the president of Maruso definitely saw it. 10 tons of it, clearly with his own eyes. Even more, Dad let the president take one ingot at random and have it examined. The results of the examination showed that the 10 kilogram ingot was 99.99% pure. He said that the Ushinomiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, was imprinted on it.
Almost instantly, the Ushinomiya legend of the gold spread amongst the fixers of the business world. Gold from an unknown foundry is a poor rate of conversion into money. Thinking that it was a chance for decisive profits, they accepted it as collateral, and as a result, Father was able to receive massive loans.
Oh, God. Welcome back. Is there no limit to the absurdity you're willing to accept? How old are you people? Yeah. Real. They don't know that instead of real gold, it's plush gold. In actuality, it's like 50 fumos, and like it's like 50 like it's like 50 original fumos, and the guy was allowed to take one of them out, and like they're like, yep, that's authentic. It's all fumos. It's all fumo. There is only fumo. Are you still taking that nursery tale you heard as children seriously? Yes, I'm gonna for a little bit. Actually, first I'm gonna save to make sure I don't do anything wrong. Oh wait, this is the button. Ah! Jump scare! Yeah. While you were out drinking, having premarital sex, while you were out doing all of those things, I studied the Fumo. While you were out getting girls, I studied the Fumo. Yeah, I definitely don't want to keep this on, but I just want to see what they look like, because I can't remember what they look like. Expect me to yell at every single one, because I'm gonna get fucking jump scared. Where is the proof that this 10 tons of gold even exists? Aren't you just parroting the lies of Father and a few of those close to him? Of course it's just a story. But still, Aniki, the amount of money Dad raised required a suitable amount of collateral. Even if the gold itself was just a rumor, it's an undoubtable fact that he showed him a treasure of comparable worth. It was just an illusion of money created by our penniless father. He acted as though he actually had gold that didn't exist, fooling his sponsors. It was probably the gamble of a lifetime, Luckily, his use of those funds proved successful. If the Korean War demands hadn't come and the Ushinomiya family had not been restored, Father would probably have been hounded. Father would probably have been hounded after as the crook of the century. So, are you saying the gold never existed and Father made it all up? Of course. And because of that, the illusion of gold became a mere inconvenience once he achieved enough success. That's why, later on, Father added all that about a witch and black magic, weakening the credibility of the entire story. In other words, he revealed that the illusion of the gold was a fabrication. If he claimed to have received the gold from a witch, no one would believe that it existed at all, right? It's also possible he said it for all of your sakes. Nevertheless, here comes some stupid offspring wanting to divide up this non-existent gold, along with the rest of the inheritance. Rosa, don't tell me that even you believe in a fabrication like this. Wait, is that... Hang on. Yeah, no. I mixed up the names. I can't prove whether or not Father really had the gold. I just want to claim my rightful share, as one of Father's 4 children. Huh. It seems even you've started to talk that way, Rosa. I see. So that's what you're all getting at. You're trying to claim that I'm attempting to keep all the gold for myself.
Nissan, you've gathered a massive supply of funds. That's a fact. If we rule out the possibility that you've been embezzling Father's personal funds, then there's only one possibility left, right?
Aniki, we've been thinking that you might have found those 10 tons of gold bars. Ridiculous. Such a thing never existed in the first place.
Then explain yourself. Was embezzlement of Father's assets, or Father's hidden gold? How could you have gathered so much funding if not by one of these methods?
Even I have many friends in the political and financial realms. I have earned their cooperation, nothing more. And on that matter, I have no responsibility to explain myself to you. You understand, don't you? There are some topics that ought not be spoken of. If you insist on that point, that's all well and good for now. But Aniki, Dad doesn't have that long. Nobody can ensure that he'll live to see this day next year. The inheritance process will begin at the instant of Dad's death. We'll arrange for lawyers and accountants who are impartial to all of us, and have them inspect Dad's financial situation.
At that time, if it comes to light you've unjustly interfered with Father's money, you understand, right?
I don't have a clue what you're talking about. You're starting to make me feel as indignant as my wife was. Of course, Father's gold is a part of Father's fortune. We understand it's money you can't reveal openly, but the 4 siblings should have an equal right to it. In other words, we're going to have your financial situation investigated as well as Dad's to determine whether you're hoarding the gold or not.
Isn't this a great opportunity? Right now, prove the existence of your so-called support from friends and acquaintances. That way, we can sportingly apologize for foolishly doubting you. Right, Rosa? That's right. Kraus Nissan, you are the one who's dodging the issue. If you were guiltless, you could just prove that you were in the right, but you aren't even trying to do so.
However, Aniki, we still have to consider your position here. As Dad's representative, you're probably bearing a larger share of the burden than we are. We've been living terribly relaxed lives until now, so it wouldn't be fair for the rest of us to complain without taking your efforts into account. Huh. It seems you cannot make up your mind whether to flatter me or slander me. Please get to the point. Basically, randomly investigating nitpicky aspects of Father's wealth seems like a pretty crude way to go about it. As you said, Kraus Nissan, there may have been movements of money that are difficult to explain. We've come to consult with you today while fully aware of that point. Both sides stand to gain from talking about this now. A consultation? Huh. When the inheritance is divided, you'll be rewarded for your years of hard work taking care of Dad by an agreement that's generous in your favor.
Don't misunderstand us, Nissan. We aren't saying that we'll abandon our rights, but when we make our claim for what we deserve, we might as well offer a generous understanding for your position. That's what we mean.
Okay, I'm tired of these rights. I want the originals. In other words, if you accept our conditions, then when the inheritance is divided, we'll leave the investigation of Father's financial situation to you, Chris Nissan. Yeah. Yeah. There was once an ugly barnacle, and he was so ugly, he died. The end. All of the siblings from Eva downward suspected that Kraus was trying to steal their father's wealth. So, letting Kraus report the state of that wealth was extremely contradictory and a huge concession. If, as they claimed, Kraus was actually embezzling money, Kraus would be able to hide that fact. Besides which, it would be possible for him to control the distribution of the inheritance in a manner favorable to himself. Kraus, realizing that this sounded too good to be true, couldn't help but feel suspicious. He couldn't help but worry about what they'd ask for in exchange. Huh. After mistrusting me completely, you now say that you're willing to restore your confidence in me as the eldest sibling. So, what is it you want in return? Just what we deserve as siblings. You aren't the kind of person who'd steal Dad's property, but you also aren't being financed by some patron. Considering all that, there is a certain explanation that satisfies the rest of us.
Nissan, you found 10 tons of gold and used that as collateral to gather some funding. Yes, just like Father did in the past, right?
If that's the case, there won't be any funny business in Father's finances. You've always been a good son, looking after Father. When do we mistrust a person like that? You're being so roundabout, I can barely understand you. Please speak in clearer and more practical terms. Our first condition. Aniki, you must admit that you found Dad's gold. Are you asking me to admit that I possess gold that doesn't exist?
Our second condition. You'll acknowledge that each sibling has a right to a share of the gold, and you will pay out those shares.
How foolish. With that non-existent 20 billion yen of gold, that'd be 5 billion yen per person. Are you telling me to pay a total of 15 billion yen? Ridiculous. Keep listening till the end. We know that much money can't just pop out of nowhere. We're not asking you to make an impossible deal. Of course, regarding the portions of the gold, we plan to reward you plenty for your hard work until now.
Our third condition. The portion of the gold to the one bearing the title of successor to the Ushinomiya head family will be 50%. The remainder will be considered the fair share for the siblings and divided up. Of course, this also includes you, Kraus Nissan.
Of the 20 billion, 12.5 will go to Aniki. 2.5 will go to Eva Nissan. Nissan. 2.5 billion will go to me. And 2.5 will go to Rosa. That division scheme makes me so grateful I could cry. So you're saying, for the sake of the gold that doesn't exist, I must pay you 7.5 billion yen.
What's wrong? Nissan, your share is 5 times the size of ours. These are such good terms, I'd be jumping for joy. Our fourth condition. The gold will be liquidated and distributed, along with the inheritance at the time of Father's death. However, as a deposit, 10% of our portions are to be paid to us promptly. These payments must be made before March of next year. What do you think, Kraus Nissan? This is an ideal chance for you to restore the trust regarding your handling of Father's assets, isn't it? Of course, it might be impossible to get a whole 7.5 billion before Father dies. But it should be possible for you to manage a deposit of 750 million, right? Paying 700 million in half a year might sound like a pain, but you should be able to manage it.
what with all your friends in the political business spheres, in the political and business spheres. Normally, we'd hope to receive the 7.5 billion right now, all at once. But out of concern for you, we'll show our sincerity by asking for only 10% of that for the time being. The remaining 90% can wait until the inheritance is distributed. See? Even you'd be capable of managing a mere 10% to show your sincerity.
So, you're trying to sell me the right to assess Father's financial situation for 750 million yen? How impressive. You all certainly have grown. To think that I'm now the one being offered deals.
Nissan, if you accept these terms, the rest of us siblings will leave the investigation of Father's assets to you. However, the results of that investigation will be subject to scrutiny. It's only natural, right? We'd be so sad if you managed things so that our 7.5 billion shares shrank.
Well, avoid complaining, as a general rule. Just make sure you do it neat and tidy. As long as you don't try anything that's blatantly obvious, we've got no intention of stirring things up. We want our inheritance quickly, too. We don't want it to get all drawn out and left hanging. If a complaint is made, who would carry out the follow-up investigation?
We don't mind if it's you. This is probably the first and last chance for us siblings to reach a consensus. I believe it won't come to that. Looks like even you can speak up now and then, Rosa.
By this point, it's obvious that Kraus wasn't at all trusted as the oldest sibling, so there's no need to go into detail. The formerly tyrannical oldest brother had always abused his privileges and violated the other siblings' shares. It was in response to this that the other three, now adults, were finally teaming up and striking back for the first time. Sorry, but there's more. Our fifth condition. This decision must take precedence over Father's will. Later on, we don't want some will to appear and make this decision completely irrelevant. I see that you're very cautious. Then let me ask, if the gold really were found, what would you do? Since you'll be making payments to us for what the gold's worth, the rest of us really don't care if we ever see the gold or not. You can think of our share as an advance payment.
It's good to have dreams, isn't it? You plan to turn this island into a resort, right? You might stumble upon the gold by chance during construction.
Eva let out a high-pitched laugh. Kraus watched, but didn't even flinch. Let me add a seventh condition before I accept. In the situation that any sibling other than myself finds the gold, they will immediately turn it over to me.
Yes, of course. We'll hold on to it.
Oh, wait, I think that's... Yes, of course, we'll hold on to it for you. Oh, wait, never mind. Whatever. I've already said it.
It was a play on words. Of course, the others, who were forcing Kraus to pay money for some non-existent gold, wouldn't save Kraus his portion if they actually found it. From the beginning, this deal had been nothing more than a threat directed at Kraus. Regardless of the actual facts, it was still extremely likely that Kraus was embezzling his father's assets. When Kinzo faced death at last, and had his inheritance distributed, some unpleasant facts would surely come to light. That could easily become fatal to Kraus. The others had spotted this weak point, and were threatening their brother under the veil of compromise, trying to wring a huge sum of money out of him. However, they had forgotten one thing. They had forgotten that their brother's brain moved so swiftly, at least when it came to cunning and guile, that they had been forced to band together to combat him. While Eva couldn't stop smiling, sure of her victory, Kraus let out a gloating laugh to show how relaxed he was.
This all makes for such a touching story. My estrangement from you all has left a deep pain in my heart. If accepting these conditions means we siblings can become friends again, it would please me to no end. I'd be happy to agree to your deal. Rejoice, Rosa. We have reached an understanding.
Rosa's expression dimmed. It was never a good sign when her brother started talking like this. Eva also keenly picked up on this. That's why she was unable to wipe away a sense of unease, even though Kraus had obediently accepted the deal. My, how obedient of you. It's not like you at all, Nissan.
What a cruel thing to say. Are you implying I have some ulterior motive? Of course I don't. I'm just the same as all of you. Just the same as all of you.
He seemed to emphasize just that one part.
The color of Rudolph's face darkened.
To him, it sounded as though Kraus was saying, I have a plan similar to yours. So Rudolph panicked. He rushed to bring this nearly dissolved discussion to a conclusion.
Then we're good. So, Aniki, would you mind signing here? This is a written contract summarizing the discussion we've just been having. There's one for each of us. Everyone will sign for the same contents.
Rudolph took 4 written contracts out of his breast pocket that had the details of their deal written on them. What, that breast pocket? The one with the little red cloth coming out of it? That? Must have been a small piece of paper.
The 7th condition you proposed will, of course, be added right now. Don't worry about that. Aniki, need a pen?
Rudolph took a fountain pen out of his breast pocket and offered it to Kraus. Kraus made as if to accept it, but then, with a small laugh, he drew back his hand without taking it and spoke.
Actually, in order to ensure that this agreement is properly executed, I'd like to propose an amendment on just one point.
As soon as Kraus said that single sentence, all of the siblings felt as though something ominous was creeping up on their backs. It was creeping up their backs at the same time. That won't do. We've already decided, haven't we? Just stay quiet and sign it.
Why are you in such a hurry, Eva? Of course I'll sign. I promise the share of the gold going to all of you will be 7.5 billion yen. I also promise that, when Father's inheritance is distributed, I will cleanly and neatly liquidate it. However, there is one point that I simply must insist that you compromise on. What are you talking about? What don't you like? The part about promptly paying 10% of your share, 750 million yen. As you pointed out, my financial situation is far from—
You're all fucking rich, shut up!
My financial situation is far from prosperous. While I can guarantee that I will collect on various future investments, I must admit that I am quite poor at the present—
Shut the fuck up! No, you are not!
Yeah, maybe you're poor to fucking, I don't know, in comparison to, I don't know, fucking,
Shut the fuck!
In short, I have absolutely no money that I can move around right now. I am incompetent, and my business sense is dull. Since I am the loser you all claim me to be, I don't have the power to move 750 million yen in just half a year.
That can't be true. Are you trying to deceive us with such a half-baked trick?
At the time of the division of the inheritance, I will liquidate everything at once. Remove the condition that I must pay you 10% in advance. That is the only condition under which I am willing to sign. Kraus-Nissan, the 10% is nothing more than a number to measure your sincerity, isn't it? All things being equal, you shouldn't have any room to negotiate at all. We're doing you a huge favor by offering to let things slide for just 10% good faith money. Now that we've explained that, your rejecting our offer would seriously damage our trust and relationship, right?
Hideyoshi had a humble expression on his face, and was rubbing his hands together. But his eyes weren't calm at all. Kraus had already seen through to the shadow in the depths of those eyes.
Why are you all in such a rush? Or could it be that you're afraid of something? Rosa, why won't you tell me Rosa, won't you tell me alone? Secretly, so the rest of the siblings can't hear.
It's not as though I...
Quit it, Aniki. All we're asking is whether you're gonna sign or not. Just forget about making any strange deals or any other suspicious moves. Huh? You say I have no room to negotiate? Are you trying to claim that I am in a weak position, which therefore puts the rest of us in an unequal relationship?
Shivers began to crawl up Rudolph's back. He began to feel himself getting overwhelmed by the height of his brother's completely insurmountable wall, and the long shadow that had existed since they were children.
Shouldn't deals be made between those on even footings? From my perspective, this deal will help restore the long-lost trust of my younger siblings, and deepen the love between us. It's an old problem that's been eating at me, and one I would prefer to resolve as soon as possible. I would be overjoyed if we could resolve it today. However, it seems I'm not the only one who would be quite glad to close this deal quickly. Am I wrong?
Kraus stared at each of his siblings. They avoided his gaze with animal-like instinct. Only Hideyoshi was slow in avoiding it, so he was caught by Kraus's gaze.
Hideyoshi-san, I hear your company has been doing extremely well lately. At a brisk pace, it went public, and both its track record and its stock prices have soared. I am truly jealous.
We aren't here to talk about my husband.
However, it is unfortunate that you have neglected your stockholders. It's even more unfortunate that you were unable to solidify your base when you became stock listed. Before you realized it, some bad-natured colleagues of yours had bought up a huge share of your company's stock, right? How could you know about that? The same way you knew about me. If it's possible to collect the evidence, if it's possible to collect evidence proving that no one would offer a loan to me, it's possible for me to collect evidence on you. Is it really so unexpected as that?
Kraus grinned broadly.
In contrast,
Hideyoshi's face was rapidly turning pale. Hideyoshi's company was a restaurant chain management company that he'd started from nothing. Thanks to Hideyoshi's management efforts, the company had achieved success repeatedly, expanding its range, and a petition to make a stock-listed company had recently succeeded. The greatest advantage of being in the stockholding system is that you can sell stocks. I don't fucking care about the stock market! And gain a large amount of financing. That amount tends to be far greater than a business's normal profits.
God, I hate the stock market! God, I hate crypto, I hate, ah!
So, there's an extremely effective way to gather massive funds to expand a business even further. However, in exchange for financing the company, the stockholders gain certain rights. They're given rights that allow them to observe and guide the company they've invested in, leading to profits even greater than their original investments. This right is guaranteed to the stockholders, and they sometimes use it to dismiss the ineffectual management. The right allows them to keep an eye on management and prevent the money they've invested in the company from going to waste.
Yeah, nuts indeed.
However, if they use it forcibly, they can eject the former management and take over the company. After all, dismissing management and nominating new management are the powers held by the general body of all shareholders. That power is determined by the majority decision of the stockholders, and people who hold more stock get to cast more votes.
When are they gonna stop talking about fucking stock? I don't want to hear about stock. I don't want to hear about stockholders. I don't want to hear. I don't care. In other words, show me Beatrice. Show me the funny witch, please.
In other words, if some person or group holds a majority of the stock, they can freely chase out the old management and make the president anyone they like. If they want, it's also possible for them to make themselves president. Most most companies take various defensive measures to stop malicious people from buying up their stock and threatening their position, like ensuring that lots of stock is bought by those close to them, such as company employees. However, Hideyoshi's company had only recently become stock listed, and he hadn't had time to strengthen those defensive measures. Or maybe Hideyoshi was so engrossed in the management of his own company that he couldn't properly understand the dangers of being stock listed. It's hard to say whether he should be viewed as a kind-hearted manager immersed in the work of management, or a foolish manager who had his feet swept out from under him. In other words, there existed some people who wouldn't let him get away with that naivety unscathed. They began repeatedly buying up stock in Hideyoshi's company, rapidly gaining such strength that they couldn't be ignored. They then sent anonymous documents to the shareholders in an attempt to gain control of a majority. The documents read, "The current management continues to make pointless investments and is ignoring the deeds of the stockholders. Let us force the current management to retire, cut the current wasted investments, and let this company be born again as one that gives more back to the stockholders." It's very difficult to make the actual state of the company's management known. The fruits of Hideyoshi's sleepless nights and constant concern for his company were cruelly distorted, and he lost the trust of his stockholders. Thanks to these efforts, this group had almost collected a majority of the company's stock. At that point, even Hideyoshi noticed and started to buy back the stock. The stockholders realized that the company was undergoing an acquisition maneuver, and each demanded a ridiculous price for the shares that Hideyoshi was trying to buy back. They continually tortured Hideyoshi, who had no leeway in the negotiation of the price. One of the certainties of capitalism is that the price will rise when two parties vie for the same thing. And one of the certainties of democracy is that the majority controls everything. So in the end, whoever manages to buy up the most stock wins. Put another way, whoever has the most money wins. Because money is the best lawyer in hell. Unless Hideyoshi could obtain a large sum of money at this critical time, he could easily lose all he had built so far. Therefore, more than anything else, he wanted a lot of money right now! Why is it in all caps? He couldn't wait for the division of Kinzo's inheritance, since no one knew when he would die. And you, Rudolph, have been in quite a lot of trouble lately. Shut the fuck up, Duolingo. And you, Rudolph, have been in quite a lot of trouble lately too, haven't you? You always hear people say it's terrifying overseas, but it seems it really is true. American trials are settled quite emotionally. They never hand down generous judgments to foreigners. Weren't you advised by your lawyer that making a settlement with the other party would be more economical in the long run? What's all this about? Well, it's just some trouble from work. No big deal. Nothing you can't settle with money. Kyrie immediately guessed the meaning behind the subtle expression on Rudolph's face. Her husband had gotten wrapped up in some kind of trouble without her knowledge, and had been worrying over it alone. That's right. In this world, anything can be settled with money. After all, it can even buy back the broken bonds between siblings. America is very fussy over the violation of rights. But with money, anything can be settled. Long live capitalism. Though, rumor has it that the settlement money could be as high as several $1 million. Rudolph had been building up a large amount of wealth with a certain type of niche industry. However, a niche is a niche. It definitely wasn't a business exposed to the light of day. Is he running a brothel? Or some shit? What the fuck? An American corporate giant was trying to accuse Rudolph's company of violating their rights. For various reasons, it was thought that victory for Rudolph in this trial would be extremely unlikely, and he was being forced into an all-out surrender. But even so, there was a way for this to be resolved with money. If he could just pay that money, it might still be painful, but he'd be able to pick himself back up. But if he didn't pay, he'd lose everything. Therefore, more than anything else, he wanted a lot of money right now!
You're a good and noble little sister. You wouldn't get yourself involved in a dangerous money game. However, your soft-hearted nature has brought you trouble, hasn't it? In my opinion, becoming a co-signer for anything isn't something one should enter into lightly.
That's none of your business, Kraus Nissan.
Rosa uncharacteristically laid bare her emotions and yelled.
After all, no one was supposed to know that.
As Kraus watched, he let slip a muffled laugh. Without exception.
Without exception.
Every one of them.
More than anything else! What a lot of money right now!
In other words, the situation had been reversed. After all, the person the younger siblings were threatening was the only one who had no urgent need for a large sum of money. The other three, however, wanted a lot of money quickly, no matter the cost. In other words, the longer it took to establish this deal, the better position Kraus would be in. Kraus was extremely sly. He had known of their Achilles' heel from the beginning. Even so, he had not been certain. Therefore, he had hidden his knowledge until the very end, striking back only after analyzing their attitudes. If it were possible, I would like nothing more than to raise some money for my adorable siblings in their time of need. But unfortunately, I have nothing on hand. If you know of any sponsors that might be able to raise a whole $750 million, I suggest you try there first. Kraus's latest words were so obviously detached from what he actually felt. The other siblings could do nothing more than listen, grinding their teeth. If they could think of a sponsor that convenient, they wouldn't have kept up this charade. They had entered this huge battle specifically because they had exhausted all their other options. However, if you do insist on relying on your big brother, I wouldn't mind using my influence to help you find such a sponsor. Oh, wait. I do believe you said that I have no influence. Well then, I'm afraid I won't be much help to you. Kraus's low, gloating laugh began to fill the parlor. The younger siblings, who had been driving the oldest brother into a corner until a moment ago, could do nothing more than grimace and grind their teeth. Eva!
Don't make me laugh! As if I ever put myself in your debt! Don't make me laugh! Don't make me laugh! If we relied on you, how exactly would you help us?
I told you, didn't I? All I can do is find the other sponsors for you. Of course, I'll negotiate for the highest interest rate possible. Damn you, taking advantage of us.
Honey, please calm down.
I am calm. I'm extremely cool. You bastard.
Kyrie grabbed her husband's hand.
But that action made him feel even more pitiful, so Rudolph shook it off. Kraus laughed as though watching something highly amusing. You microwaved a cheese ball and exploded? Fuck. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. You know, so my microwave's actually been fucking broken for a long time. And recently, so my family's been using, well, my family, me and my mom, we've been using the stove and the toaster in like, yeah, in place of it. And recently,
The oven also broke. So the stove is broken, and now we have to light it with a fucking match. Yesterday you saw a TikTok slideshow showing dead rat gore uncensored. Oh! Oh. That, I'm sorry to hear that. What the fuck? TikTok. Huh? Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Yeah. In times like these, it certainly would be nice to find Father's hidden gold. If you did, split it up into 2.5 billion yen portions right now. The rat was completely decapitated and its guts were out. Describe further, but I think that'd be very unknown. Yeah, why the fuck would you post that? Why the fuck would Sony post that on TikTok? Like, God. Remember when TikTok was Musical.ly? And people posted just like those little videos where they would like put the fucking the speed on like 1.5x, and they'd make like they'd take like fucking, I don't know, whatever fucking audios they did with like the fucking, remember when they posted normal videos? Remember when that site hosted normal videos? Remember when things were normal? God. Yeah. TikTok used to be a normal app. God. Yeah. Shit is fucked, I guess. Yeah. Oh, sad. How sad. How very sad. You post porn on TikTok now, so it's not surprising? Like, just outright? The fuck? Like, I was aware that people made stuff that was, like, meant to be, like... I was aware that people would post, like, thirst traps and shit, but, like, just straight up porn? Man. Oh, they post in templates censoring it. Huh. Well, actually, thinking back, I think that's been, like, a thing on, like, a lot of video sharing sites. So I guess it's not that, like, unusual. But it's still weird. Or, actually, unusual isn't the right word. I guess it's not that uncommon. But, yeah, it's still weird. Listen, that reminds me. Once I was on Instagram, and there was this account that was recommended to me. It was called, like... I can't remember what it was called, actually. But it was, like, some sort of... It was just a page that posted, like, literal, like, uncensored porn. Like, just anime porn shit. Like, there was literally, like, full, like, nudity on the page. or like almost full nudity. And like I blocked the account and I reported it. And like the next day, they were like, "Hey, about that account that you reported, you know, the one that has like straight furry pussy on the front, like as one of their like recent posts, like not that also has like a picture of like the Pokemon Black and White protagonists on bikinis who are like 12 years old, by the way. Yeah, we checked out that account. It didn't violate any of our rules, so we decided to leave it. If you don't like seeing something, you can just block the account. Like, dude, there is full nudity on this page. It's literally, like, called, like, Anime Girl Pics Sexy. This account posts porn. Like, and they're like, yeah, it doesn't violate our rules, bro. It doesn't violate our, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, there's a template that shows hidden porn. You need to save the vid and turn the brightness and contrast on CapCut. That's so unnecessarily, like... That's so unnecessarily complicated. Just don't post it at that point. It shouldn't be posted anyways. Like, there's no reason to be posting... Yeah, literally real least pedophilic Pokemon fan. Yeah, there's no reason to be fucking, like, posting porn on general social media. On, like, Instagram or, like, CapCut or whatever the fuck. Like, there's no reason to be posting, like, porn on, like, the fucking, like, you know... Yeah, on, like, general, like, social media, like, fucking, like, Instagram... or, like... fucking, I don't know. On, like, whatever, like, usual social media that doesn't allow porn. There's no need to be there's no need to be posting NSFW on, like, social media platforms that don't allow NSFW. But, like, fucking making it, like, hiding it and then requiring you to, like, go into an editing software, like, to download or, like, record the video and go into an editing software and then turn up the fucking brightness and contrast. That's so unnecessarily complicated. Just don't even bother at that point, you know? But yeah. Yeah. It'd probably be, like, you know, better if, like, you know, every now and again they had, like, an actual human check, you know, some of the reported accounts. Because, like, I'm pretty sure that if, like, if an account dedicated to posting just straight up, like, porn on, like, Instagram or whatever, if an actual human looked at it, they'd be like, oh, yeah, that goes against the rules, that goes against the terms of service, this is just, yeah. But, like, I guess they don't want to do that or something. How sad, how sad. How very sad. How extremely, totally, truly, hopelessly sad. Tonight, let us all drink together, as we solve the riddle of Beatrice's epitaph and discover the location of Father's hidden gold. You know, I name, like, every single one of these streams. Like, I promise it gets good, Beatrice is here, and then she doesn't show up. When does it happen? If we 4 friendly siblings work together, there is surely no puzzle we can't solve. Oh, I held my breath with absolutely nothing in there for way too long. Quite an entertaining scheme. Well then, what are the conditions they've attached? Well... Oh, this is probably, maids or whatever. Well, whether or not Kraus-sama actually discovers the gold, he'll pay Eva-sama, Rudolph-sama, and Rosa-sama a total of 7.5 billion yen for their shares. However, 10% of that will be paid before March. Oh, fuck. I forgot the voice that I did for this guy. Kraus, you dunce. To think he would have his feet swept out from under him by his younger siblings. Did I post that Shadow the Hedgehog picture yesterday? The one about I am a Christian mother against sexy Shadow the Hedgehog fan art? Yes, I did. How truly amusing. But it sounds as though they tripped when going in for the kill, yes?
Yes. Kraus-sama exposed the fact that Eva-sama and the younger siblings all have an urgent need to get money.
Is there even any need to expose such obvious facts? That irresolute, incompetent man! What are they doing now?
That conversation has been put on hold for the time being. Now, Beatrice-sama's epitaph is being discussed.
So, they're trying to solve the riddle and find out where my gold is hidden.
Yes.
Kinzo set down his spectacles and snorted.
Will the miracle be fulfilled first? Or will those fools expose the gold first? What a show this will be. At the very moment those fools solve my puzzle, I will suffer utter defeat. They can suck my corpse down into the last fragment of bone.
I'm gonna do it with Persona 5 Joker at Akechi Gay Hotline on the tomorrow saying good morning. I don't know what that means. But while I'm not like a fan of Joker x Akechi, I don't really have anything against it, I guess. Yes, I did upload the Toaster Igus video. Despite that, I have not played Persona 3, but I do want to. I'm thinking about pirating it. Well, actually, I guess there's a lot of Toaster Igus videos, but I did upload one of them. Yeah. I have uploaded a Toaster Igus video.
The greed of fools can allow great magic to bring forth a miracle. And yet...
They should build a bridge between Madagascar and Australia. I'm an American, so I don't know where things are. Hang on. The face cam is annoying orange because I think it's funny. I don't know. I found the picture in my gallery and I was like, wow. Lol. Yeah, annoying orange gaming, real. I wonder how long it would take to build a bridge between Madagascar and Australia. That would take like a lot of like material, you know? Yeah, that. Yeah. Yeah, annoying orange gaming.
If the fulfillment of their miracle comes first, if it comes first, Beatrice will be resurrected again! Oh, so that's what we have to look forward to. The fulfillment of the miracle. The smile I have been chasing half my life will be restored! Oh, Beatrice! Soon will come the sacred night when we shall bet upon a miracle, and the game of demons shall begin! I will surely prove triumphant and survive! I'll let you have the lives of all those others! I don't need wealth, or honor, or assets, or gold, or anything! All I want is to see your smile one last time!
Kinzo choked, apparently in great pain. Kanon got closer and tried to pat his master's back, but Kinzo motioned for him to stop.
Do you know why I went to the trouble of exposing the hidden location of the gold in a place that everyone can see?
Yeah. Get the fucking pills. Gramps is getting silly again. No.
It is because magical power is determined by risk. If the number of people who try to discover Beatrice's gold is great, and the danger of them succeeding is great as well, then the power of magic will bring about a grand miracle if we succeed despite the odds. In other words, magic is a game. It is not the case that one who performs the best becomes the victor. The victor performs the best because he has been granted magic. Do you see? It is similar to how the miracle of life can be granted, only after winning against the divine odds of several 100 million to 1. Is this a little difficult for you?
I fucking love those pictures. I love the... How shrimple is that? The fucking... Yeah. I love those little MS Paint things. Yeah, they're real. Like, yeah, I love it when, like, artists will, like, draw, like, some like, silly, just, like, a silly little picture in, like, MS Paint or whatever, and, like, you can tell they're not using all their skill, right? But you can fucking tell that just based off, like, the drawing, or the way that they draw even, like, those little things, that they're, like, really, really good at art, you know? It's so cool. Like, you can just tell, you know? You can just tell that their art goes hard. Yeah. And it's kind of like that with the shrimple is that picture, you know? My apologies.
That's fine. It all comes down to this. I will give all that I have built up to the one who solves the mystery of Beatrice's epitaph. Wealth, honor, gold, and the inheritance of the Ushinomiya family. Everything that I have established. My children certainly aren't the only ones with the right to attempt to solve this riddle. Anyone who solves the riddle will have the right to gain everything, even you.
Yes. However, I couldn't possibly understand such a difficult riddle. I can't even remember the fucking riddle.
Of course. I made it difficult. But you must try to solve it as well. That will form the seed that summons the miracle of my magic.
I'm gonna look... What did he say again? I'm gonna see if I can find what the riddle was without, like, seeing the answer. Kinzo... riddle... umineko. Never mind.
I'm not gonna bother. It looks like everything's got fucking spoilers all over it. If everyone attempts it, and everyone fails, that will be that. However, if the miracles come together and give birth to magical power, it will happen! Beatrice will revive! That is why you must attempt it too. Everyone must attempt it. God, I fucking hope Battler figures it out soon. I want to see Beatrice! And in so doing, they will give strength to my magic! Do you understand?
Yes, I will try.
For a long while, Kinzo repeatedly muttered to himself, agitated and clutching at his head.
Kenon stayed where he was, alert and unmoving, until he was given the next order from his master. Kinzo eventually realized this.
Very well. Leave me. There is a bag of sweets on the liquor cabinet. You can take some with you as a reward.
I'm fine. After all, I am furniture.
So furniture doesn't eat sweets? Well, I suppose it stands to reason. In that case, leave me.
Yes. Excuse me. Kenon bowed and left the study. As the door closed, a heavy locking noise sounded out. But it was not the sound of Kenon locking the door. It was the door locking automatically. No one could enter without Kinzo's permission, and once they left, they could not enter again. It was a mechanism that Kinzo, unable to trust his blood relatives, had created to seal himself up in his own study and isolate himself from the outside world. He was already unable to trust anyone, excepting not the children who shared his blood, but those servants who called themselves furniture.
Nanjo-sama, how are you feeling? Ah, Genji-san. Oh, it's just that there's no place for me to be anymore.
With a bitter laugh, Nanjo turned to face the door to the parlor. That look was apparently enough to tell Genji what Nanjo wanted to say. For the most part, Genji also understood the family situation. It must have made him want to frown, knowing that right now in the lounge, the master he served was being discussed so disrespectfully. But it would have been very difficult to gather that from his indifferent expression.
Still, I don't understand. Why did Kinzo-san have something so provocative written, I wonder?
Nanjo looked at the portrait of Beatrice. No, he actually directed his gaze beneath the portrait, at the plate with the epitaph.
I do not presume to understand the master's thoughts. However, I am sure he had a deep reason for doing so. Since long ago, when Kinzo-san played chess, he would always prepare his moves according to some far-reaching judgment. Yes, sometimes even to make moves I couldn't understand. For an average person like me, it was impossible to see through whatever it was he was planning. Sometimes I wonder if this might be some kind of will in the master's eyes. Perhaps he wishes to hand over his wealth and title to the one who can understand it.
Oh wait, that was... oh, whoops.
So, you're thinking he may have wanted the four siblings to work together and solve the riddle, before some outsider like myself solved it. Kinzo-san may speak of his children in insulting terms, but perhaps he also wants them to prepare their relationship.
It certainly would be heartwarming It certainly would be heartwarming if, as Nanjo had suggested, this epitaph had been made to repair the siblings' relationship. However, both Nanjo and Genji knew that nothing could be more impossible than this. They'd known Kinzo longer than anyone, and Kinzo trusted them more than his own relatives. But even they could not guess at his true motives. I think you got 1984. I think you got censored again. Only 2 messages have sent. But, I'm glad to hear you enjoyed your conversation. Yeah. The master always says that everyone has the right to try and solve the riddle, even if they aren't a member of his family. And start talking in Morse code? I'm gonna have to fucking pull up a translator. What about you? What about you, Dr. Nanjo? No, it's a little too difficult a puzzle for this senile old man. Actually, I once wrote this epitaph down on my notebook. Night after night, I would try to solve it before going to sleep. But it really is hard. It looks like we might have some free time to relax and consider it before someone comes to get us. What do you say, Genji-san? I am nothing more than furniture in service to the master. Gold and assets are unnecessary to me. My, you're very modest. I imagine that's why Kinzo-san trusts you so much. If so, I am honored. When your post on TikTok got popular again, somebody commented asking what happened to Black Blue since you're Black Red. I get the feeling that there's another message that I will wait. As Nanjo lightly laughed in response, he once again looked at the epitaph. Behold, the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the golden land. Oh, this is the epitaph. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. The epitaph in the portrait called My Beloved Witch Beatrice goes as follows. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. As you travel down it, you will see a village. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. Oh wait, I just realized the messages sent. Okay, I get it now. I've made the connection. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed that interaction. Yeah. It,
There sleeps the key to the Golden Land. The one who obtains the key must then travel to the Golden Land in accordance with these rules. On the first twilight, offer the six chosen by the key as sacrifices. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. On the third twilight, those who remain shall praise my noble name. On the fourth twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the fifth twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the sixth twilight, gouge the stomach and kill. On the seventh twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the we fucking get it. Gouge and kill, gouge and kill, gouge and kill, gouge and kill. We fucking understand. On the eighth twilight, gouge the leg and kill. On the ninth twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. On the 10th twilight, at journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall be all the gold from the Golden Land. One shall be the resurrection of all the dead souls. One shall be the resurrection of the love that was lost. One shall be to put the witch to sleep for all time. Sleep peacefully, my beloved witch, Beatrice. How many people are at this fucking event again? Then this is connected to and this umineko is connected to the umineko is connected to Higurashi. So they've got to have like umineko versions of fucking what were their names? Of the Higurashi characters, right? So, on the 10th twilight, the journey ends, and you reach the Golden Land. You really are diligent, Maria. You did a good job writing this all down.
I forget a lot, so I always write things down. Mama told me to.
There was a notebook inside the handbag Maria was always carrying around, and Beatrice's epitaph was copied onto it. Thanks to that, we were all able to challenge the puzzle of the epitaph while walking down this beach. Jessica and the rest had already tried to solve it several times, and had already gotten bored with it. However, since this was a first for me, I was so excited that I couldn't stop. It really tickled my sense of adventure. Let's start with the first line. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. Where was grandfather's hometown again? I heard that before the war, the Ushinomiya family had a mansion near Odawara. Which makes you want to know which sweetfish river runs through Odawara, right? Yeah, because that river would be the starting place. Anyone searching for the Golden Land would head down that and search for the key. What's this river in Odawara? Does it have sweetfish swimming in it? If you're looking for sweetfish in Odawara, it'd have to be Hayakawa. It's famous for its mountain stream fishing.
I hate fish.
Maria, you'll understand when you get a bit older. Lick, 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 salty roasted sweetfish. Yummy! Even though we just ate, I'm getting hungry again. Shall I bring you a biscuit? Huh? Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. Don't mind it. Shannon-chan was faithfully keeping us company, since she didn't have any afternoon chores for a while. I would have thought that, since she's a servant, accompanying us would force her to take care of us and tire her out, but that didn't seem to be the case for her. On the contrary, she seemed to enjoy joining in on a conversation with people close to her age. When I asked, I heard that she was the sort of worker whose room and board were supplied by her employer. So normally, the only person close to her in age was Jessica. Yeah, I can imagine how that might be pretty dull. Okay, so I get the sweetfish-filled river near Odawara is Hayakawa. In that case, we've got to go down it. Do you find anything if you head down Hayakawa River? If you follow it downstream, you'll arrive at the ocean. Of course, you'd reach the mouth of the river. And the third line of the epitaph was, as you travel down it, you will see a village. By the way, since long ago, the mouths of rivers have been key points in transportation, and large cities tend to be built there. That'd be the next checkpoint. That's a pretty good theory. Just like you guessed, there's an old city there that was very prosperous in ancient times. That's where Odawara Castle is. I think I might have gone to Odawara Castle on a field trip once. It really was a wonderful castle. Yeah, I also went there. Even though I live in a Western-style house, it's true the Japanese people feel calmer with a Japanese layout. Castles are boring. Theme parks are better. I see. Okay. If we find the gold, the Great Battler Sama will generously reserve a whole theme park for a day and let you play in it. Still, Odawara Castle, huh? The hidden gold of Odawara Castle. Oh-ho? It's actually starting to sound pretty good. Well, we figured out that much 2 years ago. The village down the river where the sweetfish swim in Odawara. We figured it was probably somewhere near Odawara Castle. The problem is the next line. Okay, let's see where Battler's strange reasoning can take him. Jessica grinned broadly. She seemed to be implying that she would have solved the puzzle long ago if it was that easy. Damn it. I'll definitely find it and keep it all for myself. The fourth line. In that village, look for the shore the two will tell you of. I don't know what it means by the two, but anyway, the shore. What does it mean by the shore? No, wait. Is there any place near there with shore or kishi in its name? I've heard that there's a place called Soga Kishi in Odawara. Huh? Wow! You sure know a lot about it. What could that mean? Shannon-chan, are you trying to solve the riddle and get the gold too? That makes us rivals. It's not like I'm interested in gold. It's just that George-sama told me about it before. That's because we reached the same conclusion 2 years ago. We even went to the trouble of laying out a map and looking it up. It was about 5 kilometers to the north of Odawara. We definitely found a place called Sogakishi there. However, after that, we get stuck. The 5th line doesn't say where the key is hidden in that place. Maria-chan, could you read it off for us? There sleeps the key to the golden land. I can read it. Sogakishi is probably large, and there was never any house built there by the Ushinomiya family. Not much we can do to find a key in such a vast area without any hints. You're right. Without the key, we can't advance to the next line. George Aniki, what kind of place is Sogakishi? Let's see. I've never been there, so I don't really know, but according to the map, it's in the mountains. I'm pretty sure it was at the base of Mount Asama. Something doesn't feel right. You'd expect a riddle pointing the way to hidden gold to be a bit more exact. I get the feeling that even the part about Sogakishi was a mistake. Well, I think it could be Sogakishi. It could be talking about some house that grandfather lived in when he was a kid that we don't know about. After all, the first line mentioned his beloved hometown. Shannon, you've served grandfather alcohol and stuff lots of times, right? Hasn't he ever talked to you about his past? The master almost never speaks of the past. However, he talks about the Great Kanto earthquake as though it was someone else's story. So he may have been living far away from the Kanto area. The Yoshinomiya family may have been living in Odawara, but not all the branch families were. Grandfather often called himself part of a branch family, the least connected to the successor. And that means the beloved hometown might not be in Odawara at all. I've never heard anything about grandfather's hometown, and I doubt he'd actually tell me if I asked. If the so-called hometown isn't referring to the Ushinomiya family's roots, then the Odawara theory is wrong from the beginning. Of course, this doesn't completely remove the possibility that it was Soga Kishi. For example, perhaps he lived in Odawara when he was very young, but then moved far away later. I don't understand what you're all talking about. Maria had been completely left out of the conversation, and she now sat puffing out her cheeks in boredom. So basically, we can't even agree on the starting point for this dice game of gold. We're totally stuck. But wait, after the first 5 lines, the thing you end up finding is a key, right? Even if you don't have a key, it's always possible to bust through a door. Can't we just skip the first 5 lines and start figuring out the rest? Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh well, we're just wasting time anyway. Let's hear the rest of Battler's reasoning. But in the next part, it gets dark really fast. Shannon-chan frowned slightly. After looking back at Maria's notebook to recall what was written in there, yeah, I was forced to agree. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. It sure does get horrible quickly. On the second twilight, it says to tear apart the 2 who are close. Does that mean to make them break off their loving relationship? Or does it mean to literally tear them apart? I don't know, but either way, it's pretty disgusting. Even if we set that second line aside, it mentions 6 people for the first twilight, then 5 people for the 4th through 8 then 5 people for the 4th through 8 twilights. So at least 11 people must be sacrificed. They're sacrifices to revive Beatrice. I see. Sacrifices to restore the witch. Yeah, that's what it'd mean. Near the end, the witch will be revived on the 9th twilight. That last part is guaranteed. On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. So everyone will die in the end. Sacrifice? Yeah. And they're gonna fucking kill people to bring back this witch. And after that, the 10th twilight is the golden line, or is the goal line. Not sure how you're supposed to reach the golden land if everyone's dead by then. Depending how you interpret it, the traveler who holds the key may or may not be included in the none shall be left alive part. But at the end, there's something pretty interesting. After reaching the goal, the witch gives out 4 treasures. One shall be all the gold. The problem is the next one. It says the dead souls will be resurrected, right? Like Yakuza dead souls! No way! Doesn't that sound like it means everyone who died in the earlier lines? If you put it like that, then the part about reviving lost love might refer to the pair torn apart on the second twilight. That's right. And the 4th one refers to the 9th twilight. The 4th treasure is putting the witch, revived on the 9th twilight, to sleep. If we put a happy spin on all this, it'll be hectic with people dying and breaking up all over the place, but it'll be made right at the end. The awakened witch will sleep again, and everything will be like it was at the start, except with a huge pile of gold. The witch must be pretty busy. What, with all the killing, reviving, breaking up, and reuniting people? Not to mention waking up and sleeping. Sheesh, just when the tale of the hidden gold was getting interesting, it all gets pretty dubious once the witch starts showing up. Too true. I laughed along with Jessica. After all, the idea of a witch was just too ridiculous. Of course, once we started laughing like that, Maria, who believed in the witch, got angry.
The witch is incredible! She can do anything with magic! Even kill! Even bring back to life! Even give love, even take it! She can fly in the sky, can become invisible, can even make golden bread out of nothing!
Dang. My bad. We were just joking. Jessica apologized, sticking out her tongue, but Maria didn't accept it. She just grabbed her notebook back out of my hands and, opening to some other pages, tried to prove that the witch existed. Those pages had colorful drawings of witches on them, and well conveyed the fantastical image Maria had of witches. It wasn't a normal sinister image of a crooked-nosed hag flying around on a broom, but a dreamlike person with unnatural powers who could do anything and wore a beautiful dress. It was just what you'd expect from an imaginative young girl. Flitting through the sky, crossing a rainbow, dancing around all night with a teacup and a teapot that would never get empty, no matter how much you poured out. Yeah, we're getting pretty silly. With a flourish of her staff, the stars in the sky would become candy and pour down, and flowers that produce sweets would bud by the roadside. To Maria, witches were the only concept that could embody the magical dream that so captivated her. As she grew older, it was the last remaining thing that could give richness to her dull and plain everyday life. Yeah, let Don Don take the wheel. You know? That's why Maria believed in witches. She didn't want that dream of hers to be tarnished. That's why she didn't want anyone to tarnish the epitaph, which affirmed the existence of witches. Because the witch named Beatrice is Maria's dream.
To Maria-chan, the epitaph isn't a guide to the hidden gold, but magic to revive the witch.
So it was the single link between Maria and the witch. Maria was very angry and clung to George Aniki. Jessica and I scratched our heads and apologized. It might not be possible to smooth things over again like the time she got mad in front of the portrait. Maria didn't seem willing to be easily consoled. Unlike Jessica and I, who hung our heads wondering what to do, Shannon-chan timidly opened her mouth.
Maria-sama, did you know? There's a ghost story about Beatrice that's been passed down amongst the servants.
Yeah, that's right. Shannon, tell us about it. I don't really know, but it's apparently pretty famous among the servants. What is this? A ghost story?
Yes. It seems it's a story from before we were born. I also heard about it from my mother.
Yes. It has been passed down since the time of the mansion's construction. The servants of that time whispered that the mansion had two masters, one of the day and one of the night. The tale that Shannon told was just like a typical campfire ghost story. If there was a forest with a witch living inside it, then of course the witch would come pay the mansion a visit from time to time. At some point, this ghost story naturally sprouted up between the servants. When people do the rounds a second time to check doors, windows, and locks that were supposedly closed, they'd find some of them left open. Lights that were supposed to be off were turned on, and lights that were supposed to be on went out. Things left lying around would disappear, and things would appear when no one had any memory of putting them there. When any of these things happened, the old servants would say that the witch had visited the mansion, invisible, and was playing pranks.
See? She exists! Beatrice exists!
Yeah, she exists. Long ago, it was always right before leaving for school that I wasn't able to find my bag and stuff. Maria puffed out her chest with an as though this was the final proof of the witch's existence. If I opened my mouth, Maria would probably be hurt again, so I didn't. I mean, you hear this kind of story everywhere. Depending on the place, they might blame it on a dwarf or an elf. The only difference is that they call it a witch on this island. course, walking around a vast, elegant mansion at night would be a little unsettling. It's an island devoid of people. Since the mansion is so drafty, walking around on the night of a thunderstorm would certainly be eerie. In addition, some servants have also seen will-o'-the-wisps and glittering butterflies dancing around. Canon-kun also saw something like that when he went patrolling one night. And recently, you often hear servants talking about strange footsteps heard inside the mansion near midnight. We've whispered together that the Beatrice sama in the portrait sometimes makes herself invisible and walks through the mansion. Yeah, I mean, Yi-song actually, Yi-song's source is that, he's actually a writer, so if anyone did the writing for this thing, it's probably Yi-song. Yeah. I'd say if anybody has, you know... Yeah, if anybody wrote, it's probably... If anybody was willing to write an entire game, it's probably Yi-song. It happened a while ago, but... Even I have heard footsteps while patrolling at night that resemble these stories. I mean... He's the first one that comes to mind, because, you know... Though, I think Faust is also a potential... I don't know. Phew. That's scary. Ah. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Beatrice-sama is another ruler of this mansion, separate from the master. So, there's no need to be unnaturally afraid. If you respect her, I hear she won't do anything bad. However, she can be quite terrifying if you don't respect her, right? Correct. I've heard that just before I began working here. Someone who spoke badly about Beatrice-sama fell down the stairs and quit after receiving a large injury to their back. Because of that, there was a rumor between the servants that Beatrice-sama's anger had been brought down upon this person. Just remember him to be the most goofy tale written in Shakespearean with a side of being annoyingly cryptic. I mean... I don't know. I just think, like, if anybody was to write an entire game, it would be him, you know? Maybe Faust. I don't know, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's slice of life for now, but they're gonna meet the witch eventually. This part could have probably been written by, like, Rhodia or something. This part, the prologue probably could have been written by Rodion. Because we still haven't even gotten into the meat of the game, you know? They're gonna meet Beatrice, I know that much. Actually, you know something? I've seen a few clips, and actually, no, I'd say that if anyone was to write it, it'd probably be Rodion. And, or maybe, like, Ryoshu or something? Yeah, probably one of the two. Yeah. I don't know much about, the main story, other than it gets fucked up. So.
Anger will definitely be brought on. Will definitely be brought down on Battler and Jessica.
I'm sorry. I don't want her anger brought down upon me. I apologize, Maria. Of course, I also apologize to the witch. I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama. Please forgive an outsider's nonsense. I'll apologize as well. I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama. Will the witch be able to forgive us now?
Don't know. Witches are fickle, so they forgive when they want to and don't when they don't.
That's no good.
Maria-chan, isn't there some kind of good luck charm that could prevent Battler-kun and Jessica-chan from suffering Beatrice-sama's wrath?
If Don Quixote wrote a fucking story, or Quixote, I don't know, Quixote, you pronounce it. If Don wrote a fucking story, I don't know actually. Actually, you know something? It's Quixote. Or Quixote. Alright. Yeah. Quixote. Alright, got it. But yeah, if Don... Actually, I think that Don would be less likely to write, like, a fiction... Don Quixote. Yeah. You know something? One of my first exposures to Don Quixote, was through Yakuza. With, you know, the store spelled the same way. And I didn't know how to say it, so my first thought was Don Quixote. And then I was like, that's probably not right. But yeah, I think that Don would be less likely to write, like, a fiction story, and more like a biography detailing, like, every single, like... I think she'd be more up to writing, like, a massive biography about the life of, like, her very favorite fixer in the whole world. Yeah. I mean, they're the two most sane sinners for now. For the time being. Everybody is going to get fucked up at some point. Nobody leaves this bus unscathed. By relying on Maria, who was proud of knowing the most about witches, George was trying to revive her self-esteem. Once again, gotta admire his ability to calm kids down. After taking a moment to cross her arms and seriously ponder whether there might be a charm that could save us, she started flipping through the pages in her notebook. thought it was just a scribbled diary, but there also seemed to be quite a few pages that looked like they'd come from a book on black magic. Maria solemnly considered a group of these pages, which contained things that looked like magic circles. Apparently, Grandfather wasn't the only one with a black magic hobby. When Maria finally found what she was looking for, she snapped the notebook shut and threw it in her handbag. She then began fishing through that bag's contents. There seemed to be various jumbled up things in there. After a while, she took out various pieces of junk, although they were probably important magical items to Maria, and repeatedly threw them back in, saying they were wrong. It was all a little humorous. Just like when, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Doraemon, but censored. Just like when Doraemon took out the wrong tool. I don't care about censorship laws. I don't care about copyright infringement. Come and kill me, FBI! Finally, she seemed to discover what she was looking for. Actually, that's not what censorship laws refer to, is it? Yeah, no, censorship laws refer to something else, don't they? Hang on. What are censorship laws? Political censorship occurs when governments hold back information from the citizens. This is often done. Yeah, I was way off. Well, either way, I don't care about copyright infringement. Come and kill me, FBI! By Gorilla Man you mean, Mierso, right? Right? Dude, isn't that like, isn't that like, dude, I don't, isn't there like something like, I don't think, I don't think you should be likening a black man to a monkey, dude. I don't think you should be doing that. I'm pretty sure that's like, you know, like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, just find a different comparison, you know? Just pick something else to say, you know? This has suddenly gotten awkward. Um... Yeah, the fucking... let's just get let's just get back to the game. You know, let's start talking about the witches again. Um. Yeah. The face that was unimaginably cheery when compared to the intense expression that she had worn until now. She held those out to Jessica and me. I grabbed it and saw it was a very cheap-looking charm. It looked like a bracelet made from a plastic rosary, with a scorpion-themed metal attached. Haven't you ever seen those cheap Zodiac-themed accessories? The kind you might win in a crane game at an arcade. It really looked like something like that. There were 2 of them. Probably one for me and one for Jessica. However, the very fact that there were 2 of them made them feel more like cheap manufactured goods, making it pretty hard to think of them as magical items.
You're giving these to me and Badler? With these charms, you don't even need to worry about Beatrice. Because scorpions have the power to ward off magic.
Huh, really? Didn't know scorpions could do that.
Badler doesn't believe.
I'd said too much and angered Maria again. Maria took out her notebook again, pointing out various pages as she went on and on about how the scorpion had such incredible holy power that it had been used in magic-repelling magical circles since ancient times.
I've heard about that from some of the other young servants. Something about how the scorpion's drawn as a magic-repelling symbol in sorcery.
Huh, really?
The scorpion protects against bad magic and calamity. An emerald brings peace to the heart. Therefore, its effects are twofold.
It's true. The scorpion wraps around the emerald and protects it. Yes, that certainly does sound like it'd work well. I really wanted to make fun of those worthless-looking charms, but as I watched Maria explaining with all her heart and realized that she found them for our sakes, I started to feel like it might actually work, even if it was just a prize from some game center. The material quality of the charm didn't matter. What mattered was the strength of her feelings. Even I don't think myself as the sort of loser who'd laugh at something like that. Okay, thank you. I apologize to Beatrice-sama, but even if I do end up getting cursed, I'll be safe now thanks to Maria's charm. Right, Jessica?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Maria. Wear it on your arm when you want your heart to be at peace. Put it in your wallet, and your money won't decrease. If you hang it from a doorknob, bad things can't get in. It's a really convenient charm.
What an incredible effect. If Maria-sama gives it her confident seal of approval, then it surely must be reliable. Shannon-chan clapped her hands together, and Maria stuck out her chest. She was totally in a good mood again. It's probably best if we leave the conversation a bit longer. It'll keep her in such a good mood. Come to think of it, she looked a bit bored when we were getting excited about the hidden gold, probably because she couldn't keep up. While eating the cookies Kumasawa-san had baked, Jessica and I asked Maria this and that about black magic. Maria happily chatted away in response to our questions. Each time, George Aniki and Shannon-chan would act surprised or chime in. The clouds in the sky grew darker and darker, but but we cousins really enjoyed communicating freely after a year's separation. Did I just feel a drop on my forehead? Huh? I wonder. As Georgianiki rubbed his forehead, he looked up at the sky. Considering the color of the sky and the dampness of the air, it wouldn't have been odd for a raindrop to hit him. The wind also seemed to have grown a bit stronger.
I didn't feel a drop. Only I didn't.
Don't worry, neither did I. Anyway, I'm sure it'll rain so much tonight that everyone will get to feel plenty of raindrops. That's right. Maybe we should head back soon. Shannon-chan looked down at her watch. It was probably well into the evening by now. Is it already time for you to return to your work? Yes. Thank you very much for allowing me to enjoy some time together with you all.
Tell Kumasawa-san thanks for the cookies. Okay, everyone, help out with the cleanup.
Shannon-chan declined our help, saying that this was a servant's job. Picking up a dropped fork before the waitress has... picking up a dropped fork before the waitress has to is like my purpose in life. Yeah. The fucking... What's his name again? Was it Jake or Logan? It was Jake Paul, right? That said all that shit? Oh, Logan Paul. Okay. Yeah, I can't tell them apart. Yeah. I can't tell them apart. If you put two pictures of them next to each other and you asked me to tell one from the other, I would not know what to fucking say. But yeah. We folded up the blanket, gathered up the trash, and helped clean everything up. Fucking Duolingo is hitting me up again. I don't care if it's XP happy hour. I'm still at the top. I'm still in like 4th place in the Ruby League, and I don't care.
The trash is getting away.
I won't let it escape. I'll grab it before Maria does. Oh my god, that's right. The fucking crypto shit. That's right. The fucking Logan Paul did do that, didn't he? God. Oh wait, multiple. God damn. Yeah, that's why I hate the fucking crypto funny money. Yeah. Yeah. Man, you know something? Speaking of like crypto shit, yesterday I went to the mall, and the mall that I've got this like I've got this Dave & Buster's card that has like just a bunch of like leftover points on it, and every now and again I just like when I go to the mall, I'll just stop by Dave & Buster's and I'll like get like a small prize or something. And I saw at the counter there was like a hey, you can trade your points in for NFTs. And yeah, ask us how. And I was like, oh. Like, I can't go fucking anywhere without this, like, crypto shill fucking non-fuckable token whatever. Bullshit. I hate it. Yeah. Also, speaking of speaking of the non-fungible tokens, somewhere near my house, like really, really close, like 5-minute walk from my house or so, there is like a big wall with just a bunch of different paintings on it, and one of them is of somebody's fucking CryptoPunk or whatever the fuck, one of them pixel art ones. So every time I go down that route to wherever I'm trying to go, I have to look at a fucking NFT. And I think that's very unfortunate. Real. Yeah. The fucking... Maybe I should take a picture of it and just like post it to the Discord or something next time I go out. Yeah. Maria! Don't get your shoes wet, you'll get in trouble. To Maria, chasing after some trash sent flying by the powerful winds was just another game. By the time we finished, the wind was blowing pretty strongly. Probably a good time to head back. You've all helped me out a lot. Thank you very much. It looks like you really... Looks like you're really out of time. Yeah. Yeah. God. Fucking... What are they called again? Bored Ape Club owners wish that their fucking Funny Ape pictures could go ooh, ah. They wish they're JPEGs. And it's not even PNGs, it's fucking JPEGs. Imagine buying a picture that's not even fucking PNG format. That's bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, they fucking Bored Ape owners wish that their fucking shitty monkey pictures could make sounds, could get silly. God, I hate crypto. It's okay, they can't, so you're forgiven. And I mean, you wouldn't have to buy them anyways, you could just screen record. It's okay if you head back first. Georgianiki perceived from her hurried appearance that very little of her free time was left. Yeah, just take out fucking like Bandicam or whatever. Genji-san's very strict about time. If you don't show up where you're supposed to be at the right time, I bet he'll be pissed. Well, we'll see you later. Do your best with your work. Yes. Then, if you will excuse me. After making a respectful bow, Shannon-chan ran towards the rose garden. Okay, let's head back to the guest house. We can watch TV or something and relax a little.
Wanna watch TV? Wanna watch TV?
Then it's decided. Let's all head back and watch TV together. Maria, who wasn't done having fun, agreed once television was mentioned. We climbed up the gentle stairs and returned to the rose garden. The wind had grown very strong, and roses shook throughout the garden like ripples on the water. This might be our last chance to see these beautiful roses. I'll bet tonight's typhoon ruins them. These roses might be done in by tonight's winds. You're right. Still, I think the roses were pretty lucky. After all, they got to welcome all of you for the typhoon. All flowers lose their petals eventually, but that means we can admire them even more when they're in bloom. That's right. Maria, burn this image into your eyes. At this moment, they're the best roses of the year.
Burned into eyes.
Right then, Maria suddenly clapped her hands. It looked like she'd remembered something.
My rose. The typhoon will send it flying.
Oh, you mean that sad-looking rose George Aniki marked with a ribbon? Maria apparently remembered where the rose was. She ran at full speed. The rest of us followed her. Where was that again? I'm sure it was somewhere around here. We searched everywhere around that area. There's only a single flower among all these roses, after all. Even though we knew it was somewhere close by, we weren't able to find it. The winds making up the typhoon's front lines made roses throughout the garden undulate. It was almost like it was releasing us. Fuck. How did I... It was almost like it was teasing us by making the location of Maria's rose impossible to find. Maybe it wasn't here. Let's try spreading out a bit in our search. Sounds good. Let's go for strength in numbers. What's up, Maria? So we made to split up and search. Maria tugged on my jacket with an unhappy face. You could tell that she didn't want us to leave that spot. What is it? What's wrong?
My rose is here. It's here.
But it's actually not, right? Maybe it was on the other side of the flower bed. If we all look, we'll find it fast, okay?
It's here! My rose is here! Look for it! Look for it!
Maria stomped her feet in irritation. She pointed at that spot and said it was definitely there, but in actuality, it wasn't. Even so, Maria got mad when we said we were going to search elsewhere. We were at a loss for what to do. For a while, we had to stay near Maria and pretend to search through that rose thicket.
Not here! Not here! Not here!
Maybe she's saying that it should be here, but it isn't. Maria became increasingly irritated. Oh man, Maria's really losing her temper. Sometimes, Maria starts to really care about really pointless stuff. If she gets what she wants, that's okay, but you can't find something that isn't there. That's not good. Just when we were at a loss of what to do, Maria called out in a loud voice.
Mama!
I saw a video, a girl claiming the Bible was fine with piercings because it said Jesus was pierced. And she quoted scripture talking about the crucifixion of Jesus. Huh. I mean, if you take the word piercing, very literally, I guess technically, but I don't think that it works that way. You know? I don't think that they're two very different kinds of being pierced, you know? Yeah. That's a moment. Yeah. We could see Aunt Rosa in the direction Maria was waving her hand. I mean, like the stigmata, the fucking like the nails and the hands and the feet and shit. They were they pierced through his hands and feet, but they're two very different kinds of piercing. I mean, yeah. So I was like technically, but like they're not the same kind of pierce, you know? Because they pierce through his hands and feet and shit with nails. So it technically counts as being pierced, I guess. But like, it's definitely not the kind of piercing she was thinking of. I'm getting silly, I guess. I'm getting a little bit silly. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, like I said, there's a very big difference between. Yeah, it's not really, yeah, it's not really a valid comparison, you know. Like I'm not, why is piercing against is like getting like ear piercings against the Bible anyways? Man, are are piercings a sin? What's the Bible say about piercing? It's like, yeah, yeah, it definitely is disrespectful. Yeah, agreed. Apparently, supposedly, what it says is, yeah. Supposedly, what it says is, "Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print or tattoo any marks upon you. I am the Lord." Um, so it seems like it's outright against tattoos, but like, I don't think that piercings count as cuttings in one's flesh for the dead. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because like there's some like there's some Christians that say that like they're like very against piercings and that say it's a sin. So that might be the reason that she had to like do this. That like she felt the need to like justify herself. You know. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's just maybe that's all. You know. Maybe that's why. Or something. I don't know. I don't know. But using the crucifixion of Jesus to like to like justify getting a piercing is definitely, you know, yeah, it's definitely disrespectful, yeah. Maybe she wanted to look at the garden one more time before the typhoon came. Or maybe she had some business at the guest house. Aunt Rosa was coming from the mansion. She quickly noticed her daughter's voice and came over. My, what happened, everyone? Are you looking for something?
Look for it! Mama, you look for my rose too!
Your rose? We found an unhealthy rose around here and marked it. We tied a candy wrapper around it. But Maria, if I remember correctly, it was growing right in front and really stood out, didn't it? Unless it grew legs and ran off somewhere. Must have been somewhere else. Maybe you remembered it wrong.
It is here! It is here! Battler doesn't believe!
How many times do I have to tell you to stop saying before you'll understand? Mama will look for it, so stay quiet. I'd never seen Aunt Rose be anything other than kind and gentle, so her anger surprised me a bit. Aunt Rosa began searching as well, so we went along with her for the time being. But we were already more than sure that it wasn't around here. So it didn't take long for Aunt Rosa to realize that too. The rose isn't here. Did you mistake this place for somewhere else? There's so many roses around.
That's wrong! It is here! Mama doesn't believe!
I already believed you and looked hard for it, didn't I? But it isn't here.
But it is here! It is here, but it isn't!
Then someone must have ripped it out. Anyway, stop saying
Who ripped out my rose? Who did? Give it back! Give it back!
How should I know? Stop it! Stop saying Aunt Rosa slapped Maria's left cheek with her palm. In that instant, Maria was shocked into silence. Of course, it was only for an instant. When Maria realized that her wish was being rejected, she started yelling even louder. Hey, I'm gonna back up.
My rose! My rose!
Didn't I tell you to stop that weird habit? That's why all the kids in your class make fun of you. Cut it out! Once again, her palm slapped Maria's cheek. This time, she didn't go silent. She choked as she started crying and began to bawl in an increasingly loud voice. Aunt Rosa was clearly irritated and lifted her hand once more to try and shut her daughter up. Aunt Rosa! Now, she's just a little kid. There's no reason to get so serious. I tried to cut in with a bitter smile, rubbing my hands together. But Aunt Rosa glared at me with a serious face, and I realized that I should have stayed out of this. I'm sorry, but could the rest of you go back to your room for a bit? We need to have a little talk with Maria. What even happened? It's a child throwing a tantrum, you know? They can't find the rose. Closer to the beginning of the game, there was like a rose that like she saw and felt bad for. And they tied like a candy wrapper around it, and now they can't find it. So she's kind of just throwing a tantrum. And then, yeah.
Nobody believes in my rose, even though it was here. Look for it. Look for it. Here. It was here.
But it's not here. So you must have confused this place for somewhere else, right?
It is here! It's definitely here!
Then it disappeared. Give it up.
Why? Why did it disappear? Why?
I don't know that. So stop saying, ugh. Aunt Rosa once again raised her hand, overcome by emotion, and slapped Maria's cheek. It was strong enough to knock Maria over. Hey, Aunt Rosa! Even if she is your daughter, violence isn't the answer. I stepped between them to protect Maria, who was still on the ground, crying, ugh. I knew that, as an outsider, problems between parent and child were none of my business. But I wasn't brought up just to silently observe something like this. Don't you think it's weird, Battler-kun? Are there any girls at your school who mutter, ugh? Well, I am in high school, but for an elementary schooler, I think saying ugh is pretty cute. Cute? Saying ugh is cute? Cute? My careless words seemed to have earned me Aunt Rosa's wrath. She grabbed my collar with a terrifying expression. Don't say such nonsense! Do you know how old Maria is? She's 9! She's a 4th grader, not a kindergartner. But she still makes that sound during class. Don't you get it? Yeah, it is. It's endearing, bro. It's a little, the fucking, literally real. It is. It's a silly little quirk. Don't try and fucking suppress it. Do you know what they say about this kid when they bully her? Thanks to this weird habit, she still hasn't made a single friend! Don't turn your eyes from reality and carelessly call Maria cute! Think more seriously about this kid's future! I told you, stop making that sound! Didn't I tell you to stop it? Aunt Rosa struck Maria's quivering head, from which an increasingly unhappy voice was rising. I tried to stop it, but Aunt Rosa pushed me away. My back hit George Aniki. A long time ago, Aunt Rosa also thought it was nothing more than one of Maria-chan's baby words. But now that it hasn't been fixed even midway through elementary school, she's been worrying about it a lot. How she talks isn't really that big of a deal, right? She'll never make it as an adult. She'll never make it as an adult if she's like that. So, even though it isn't fun to watch, this is a problem between parent and child. Well, even I get chewed out by Mom all the time because of how I talk. When they put it that way, maybe even a scene as painful as this isn't something an outsider like me should butt in on. Battler-kun, when you were a kid, didn't you have any bad habits that you couldn't fix that got you into trouble? Well, one or two. On Parents' Day once, I kept getting yelled at in front of everyone. It was embarrassing as all hell. Well then, you can understand how the two of them must feel right now. I'm sure they don't want us to be here now. You understand too, don't you, Jessica-chan? I don't think anyone likes to be seen when they're being scolded. Let's go. We'll return to the guest house. Then, after Maria-chan comes back, let's welcome her as if nothing happened. That's probably for the best, isn't it? We thought George Oniki's point was probably a reasonable one. We may have been eager to use that reasonable-sounding argument as a justification to retreat from this heart-rending scene. Jessica and I nodded at George Oniki, and we all left. We called towards Maria, telling her that we were going to head to the guest house. But she didn't seem to hear. We felt sort of guilty and shameless after saying it.
In that case, look by yourself as much as you want. Mama doesn't care.
I'll look for it. I'll look for it by myself. Even if Mama doesn't care.
Have it your way! After blasting her with those last few words, Rosa spun on her heels and quickly returned to the mansion. Maria probably viewed that as a cold gesture meant to injure, but that wasn't Rosa's intention. It was because the hand with which she had so emotionally struck Maria's cheek was still numb. It was because, if she stayed there screaming, she might again be taken over by her emotions and continue slapping her daughter's cheek over and over. After Rosa left, Maria was left alone in the rose garden. The wind began to blow stronger and stronger, and every once in a while, a raindrop would fall on her forehead. However, Maria couldn't leave that place. Not until she found that poor, wilting rose. It had definitely been there. Even so, it wasn't. Even though she knew the place, and even though it had been there, it wasn't. Maria bitterly stared at the place where it was supposed to be and thought frantically. Maybe the angle I'm looking from is wrong. Maybe the height I'm looking from is wrong. While gazing at a single point, Maria repeatedly stood up, changed her position, and continued to stare. The wind was getting stronger and stronger, but Maria kept on looking for that rose in front of the flower bed. I think that maybe, maybe it's time to wrap up. So thank you to everybody who showed up. I know you all had fun, or I hope you all had fun. I hope you all had fun because I know that I did. And I will see you all again soon. Bye.